Richard in Chicago. Hey, Richard, you wanted to discuss Islam?
Yes, I was thinking there in the United States and in Europe there are Islamic organizations that get along with us just fine. But it seems like in the Middle East, the enemy of our enemies still want to kill us. We don't have anybody in the Middle East who's Islamic who really doesn't want to kill us or hates us or calls us kafir or whatever. But why can't we get together with good, with neighbors who are Muslims and then approach the Islamic world in the Middle East and say, look, we get along out here. What is so wrong with us? Why do you all hate us no matter what we do? I just don't understand it.
Well, I think the problem is Salafism, Wahhabism, this fundamentalist type of Sunni Islam that began in the 1700s in Saudi Arabia, and basically, the House of Saud, which was then just a nomadic tribe, cut a deal with Mr. Wahhab and said, okay, you'll be our official religious guy. We'll be your official government guys. We'll cut a deal here. And that deal didn't have international consequences until the early years of the 20th century, when massive amounts of oil were discovered in Saudi Arabia. And now that Wahhabism is being exported in everything from, literally children's coloring books that talk about how Jews use Muslim children's blood to make matzahs, one of the most vicious lies that has ever been promulgated, to, Saudi Arabia helping to fund 9/11, directly or indirectly, we don't know yet, because the White House will not release this 28-page report that a number of members of Congress, both Democrats and Republicans, are saying is absolutely horrific, and the American people need, have the right to know. But this fundamentalist sect in Sunni Islam is to Sunni Islam what the groups inside Protestant Christianity, and some of them are probably Catholic as well, within Christianity, who are blowing up abortion clinics and murdering abortion doctors. It's the same thing. One of the real insights that I've gained over the getting to know friends who are Muslim and both Shia and Sunni, actually, over time, is that the religions that claim exclusivity, that say our way is the only way, you can measure the toxicity of a religion by how strongly it asserts its own exclusivity, by how strongly it says we are the only way, because the corollary to we are the only way is that everybody who's part of the other way is worthy of being killed or marginalized or conquered or squashed or whatever. And we are the only way, both politically and religiously, has been at the basis of American imperial policy since the mid-19th century, since the early 19th century. And, we're not, we don't have totally clean hands in this regard. But I think that's the real problem, Richard, is that you're not going to find, I think it's entirely possible that if the United States could man up to it, that we could work out a deal with Iran and say, okay, we're going to have both Sunni, because all of our friends in the Middle East up to this point have been Sunnis. We're going to have both Sunni and Shia friends in the Middle East. We're going to support the non-exclusive folks, the non-radical folks, the the more secular or the more tolerant Muslims within the Middle East, and help rebuild countries and do things like that. But I just think that there's so many fear mongers and so many special interest groups in the United States that it's unlikely that that's going to happen. And Israel perceives Iran as their mortal enemy, and it seems singularly obsessed with that. The Netanyahu government, anyway, and that's also an obstacle to it. So we'll see where it all goes. But your point is well taken. What do you do? What should our policy? And frankly, I think that we don't have a policy. The other day, a couple of weeks ago, President Obama said we didn't have a policy for ISIS. We don't have a policy with regard to the Middle East, other than just kicking somebody who kicked us.